For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. I always get such a warm, tingly feeling when we start this show, don't you? You can just feel the love from that introduction. Again, I've said it before, over a year and a half now, and we haven't changed that at all. Well, we are budget conscious here. Thanks for tuning in today at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. A jam-packed show for you today. Kelly Overton, she is the new star of Van Helsing, a show on Syfy. If you love all those vampire shows, right? This is the show for you. It actually premieres tonight if you're listening to this on September 23rd. And you know what? Big Brother wrapped up another season on CBS just on Wednesday night. And we've got 3 of the house guests who are just, they were stir crazy, wanting to get out of there, return back to regular life. We've got them on the line coming up a little bit later as they are just about to return home to their loved ones. But locked up in a house for like almost 100 days. I would go crazy. Could you imagine not having your cell phone or social media for 100 days? That's crazy. We'll have to find out what they've been doing since then. So they'll be answering some of your questions. We've got Davon, Victor, and Paul joining us a little bit later. But the big story this week, it's Brangelina. I mean, come on. You're probably already sick of hearing about it because this is one of those things where you're not expecting this relationship to crumble. This is A-list celebrity relationship, isn't it? And then to hear the scandalous news. Now, let's just quickly recap. We're not going to get into it. We've actually led our show Entertainment Wrap-Up with this story every day this week. If not the entire 3-minute segment, it's been the majority of the segment. So, Brad Pitt, allegedly, we always have to say allegedly or else we'll get sued, kind of roughed up one of his kids on an airplane, 15-year-old, and apparently Pitt and Jolie kind of got into an argument, and then the 15-year-old sort of comes in to defend his mom, and this is when, the story changes, right? We don't know if Pitt, hit the kid, just yelled at him or something, but that's when the abuse allegedly happened. So they were on their way home to the U.S. Now, because this happened in the air, it becomes FBI jurisdiction, but the LAPD and Child and Family Services locally in California also investigating Pitt for another incidence of, again, alleged child abuse. So, sources close to Jolie say, you know what, she's concerned about his substance abuse, his anger issues. Sources on Pitt's side say he's a great father, he would never do anything to endanger his kids' lives. And there was also tabloid speculation that the breakup happened because Pitt was having an affair with one of his co-stars on a movie. By the way, that co-star just in the last 24 hours or so has announced that she's pregnant. So I don't know if that's making the scandal any worse or not, but it's probably not Pitt's kid, though we don't know that at all. We don't know. So anyway, this Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt split has had the world buzzing. What's going to happen? They're worth almost like $500 million combined. And again, Jolie's sources are saying that she tried to sit him down, have a nice talk. This is how we're going to split up, whatever. Apparently Pitt wasn't having it, and, she's kind of mudslinging in a sense by going public with all these allegations. But at the same time, they've also both released statements through their legal reps saying that, our priority here is the health and safety of our kids. That's what we're doing. We want our privacy this time. But as Hollywood's biggest couple, you're not going to get that privacy. I'm sorry. You're just not. But again, would love to hear your thoughts on this. Weigh in, because it's probably the most attractive couple in Hollywood, and people are just chomping at the bit now going, hey, she's on the market. Hey, he's on the market. There was actually an ad, I believe an airline ad that was taken out that says, they want direct flights to Los Angeles and using him, that he's single. So if you wanted to go there, hop a plane and see Brad Pitt. I don't know. But it certainly does make you wonder. They've been together for over 10 years, 12 years I think is what it is. But at the same time, Pitt is kind of a cheater in the past, if if I'm not mistaken, so who's to say? But anyway, definitely when it comes to abusing your kids, that's where Angelina Jolie crossed the line, as many parents would, though, rightly so. But again, we're just hearing tabloid speculation and unnamed sources, of course. Those are always the most reliable, the ones that don't want to be named, but they'll tell you everything they know just to get the word out there, because they're good people like that. They are. Again, Kelly Overton from Van Helsing is coming up, and 3 castmates from Big Brother, Victor, Davon, and Paul will be joining us. Stick around, we've got a lot more coming up on the Scribble today.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Seems like nowadays everybody loves a sexy vampire or werewolf or any other kind of form of life. We're going to talk about Syfy's newest show. It's called Van Helsing. Just started on Syfy, and Kelly Overton is starring in it. She's playing Vanessa and joining us on the line. Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
Hi there. I almost called you Vanessa, but I guess, you know what, that's good, because I believe that you really are the character. Isn't that great?
That is fantastic, yes.
So let's just recap. Vampires causing a problem, right?
Yes, vampires wanting to rule the world. Like, what's up with that?
All right, tell us about the show.
The show takes place in a world, it's in our world, I should say, but 3 years in the future, and vampires exist. And a big volcano erupts and darkens the sky, ash-filled sky, and the underground vampires rise up and take over America, and hence the apocalypse. And so the apocalypse happens, and, it's war between the vampires and the humans. And we meet my character, Vanessa, who's in a coma. She wakes up to find that she's not only immune to the vampires, but she also has the ability to change them back into human. And so she has a mark on her back, and being somebody who has the cure. And, really, it becomes a question of, can she save humanity? Will she become a savior or destroyer? And will she accept or reject her mission?
So really what you're describing here is a Trump presidency.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, we'll get letters. Send them to Kelly. That's what you can do. Send them to Kelly. No, I'm kidding.
You had to.
But I mean, this is kind of cool because it's a female taking the lead on the battle, right?
Yes.
Oh, we've come a long way, right? I'm impressed that in a vampire battle, a female is taking charge.
Really?
Well.
That's surprising.
Anything's...
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool that, they're, rewriting things now and, gender swapping and letting the female be, the strong, powerful character. I mean, it is something that's really new and relevant and, pretty cool. And it's going to be interesting to see how those shows do, how they're received, and how they're written.
But it's fascinating how many kinds of shows and movies there are that are like this, right? Twilight, True Blood, like things that I would have normally associated with Halloween, but now people are just fascinated by it, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
You did a lot of working out, though, to get ready for this role, didn't you? It's physically demanding, kicking ass.
It's physically demanding, but it's also, so wonderful. I was always an athlete growing up, and I think with this movie Tekken that I did, a video game movie, a few years ago, that was the first job I had that incorporated my athleticism into my acting work, and I think started this trend of, opening the door and the way for more of those projects. So it's, working out is something that I'm always doing between jobs in preparation for the next job. And for this job in particular, I think the heat was turned up. It's funny, 4 months before I was even given the script, I was just I was in the gym and I'm like, all right, you know what? I feel something coming. I want to push my boundaries right now. I want to focus more on boxing and bodybuilding, and so I hit the gym harder than I ever have. And when I got the script 4 months later, it was like, that's it. This is what I've been preparing for. So I was ready to go, and you know, it was a wild ride. There's a lot of fight scenes. It was very physically demanding. So
she means business. So there's a lot of like blood and gore and gross stuff because that's a prerequisite for me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, lots of blood.
But I guess another thing is, are the vampires sexy in this? Are we going to be attracted to them or no? I heard that we're not going to be.
You know, no, there are some of them. You know, the really
Okay.
cool thing about our show is that we have several different types of vampires, which really has never been done before. You have the more like Walking Dead zombie-esque vampires,
Right.
You know, all the way to the top tier, more like, you know, ancient, you know, regal, socialized vampires. So you do get the gorgeous kind, along with the really kind of, you know, more animalistic, not attractive at all kinds. There is a wide variety of vampires on our show.
I love that. The top tier. There's a special class of vampire in this show. You gotta love it.
Definitely. There's always the head vampire. I mean, come on.
True. Now this is what's cool though. Is, I'm not an actor, but I imagine playing roles like this would be more fun than the regular, you know, like the romantic comedy character or the straight-edged person. Is this more fun to play in another world?
It is. You know, like the sci-fi genre. It like harkens back to when you were a kid, because no other genre do you have to suspend your disbelief as the sci-fi genre. And so you're really like throwing yourself into a world that is so imaginary that it harkens back to, you know, playing pretend and using your imagination when you were a kid. It's really fun.
So what's one of your favorite scenes that we should be on the lookout for? Without any spoilers, what was the most fun that you had?
Oh, you know, that is a tough one. But I will say, you know, something, there's a scene that everyone will see tonight that was one of my favorite scenes, and we shot it on the first day of filming, hour 16, on the first day, right at the end. And it's the scene that kind of leads up to me going into a coma. And it was just, I've never shot a scene like that before, and it was so fun to do. And it's pretty intense. So it's weird to say it's fun, but it was just one of those scenes that just came together so cool. It was really powerful, and I think everyone will know what I'm talking about when they see it.
And this is where, when you're in the coma, you're having those visuals of Trump as president. No, okay, I'm kidding. So we'll at least we can laugh about it now, right? That's the thing.
Yes. This is in Canada. Did I mention that? I'm going to be in Canada.
But so we'll be watching.
Far away.
Oh boy, yes. Where in Canada, by the way?
It's just in Vancouver.
Ah, okay. All right, good stuff. So we're going to be watching. When can we catch the show?
10 o'clock on Syfy.
So Kelly Overton, thanks for keeping the world safe. We do appreciate it.
Hey man, it's my pleasure.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. Take care now.
You too. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
The latest season of Big Brother just wrapped up on CBS. Nicole already off spending her money, so she's not joining us on the line. But Davon, Victor, and Paul are here with us. Hello, everybody. It's the ultimate conference call with the house guests. I gotta say, great game, all of you guys. Victor, I think unheard of, coming back. They just couldn't get rid of you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I left. It should have just been a permanent residency stay that came along with a $500,000 check. But no, it was fun having that experience. Yeah, it sucks to get evicted, but in my case, I felt like it was an honor. And then I just kept coming back, so I liked it. I enjoyed it.
But there was room for you. There was that spare room that was only used, that little tunnel pathway, right? You could have stayed in there.
Yeah. I could have just stayed in there the whole time. I don't know why they had to evict me so many times.
Paul, I've got to ask you, did any of the jury votes surprise you, or did everybody vote the way you were expecting?
They surprised me a little bit, I'll be honest. Honestly, I thought that, I don't know. I thought I would have won no matter who I took up, and I did think my odds were better with Nicole because I know that we did have a little bit of an emotional jury, and I know that some people just had a distaste for her, and I know that some people probably had a distaste for me, so that's what made me come up with my conclusion in the end. And, I mean, it is what it is. The friendship's still there, but there were definitely, I'd say, not to put down the spot, that was one of them. And then Natalie a little bit as well because she constantly vocalized how much she didn't like Nicole, but apparently something that she either thought I said or didn't like that I said in the final week may have just tipped that scale off for her. So,
I want you to define friendship for me.
Dude, you can't. How do you define friendship? Friendship is just all things good, all things all around. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to define, but I would describe friendship with friendship again.
And you probably put Victor at the end of that.
No, I would definitely not put Victor.
100% put Victor at the end of friendship.
That belongs to
Victor is friendship with Sitting Ducks forever.
Sitting Ducks, yeah.
They're still going at it, you guys. They're still going at it. They've been out of the house, they've been separated, and they're still going. Davon, gotta ask you, do you think it's better to have more alliances, or does that end up just backfiring? Because it seems like people focus on forming so many alliances before even getting to know others. What's your take on alliances?
Oh, them alliances slapped me all upside my head this season. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in panic mode because it was 4 of us and 12 of them, and I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel because I got to do something to try to protect myself. So I was just mixing and mingling with everybody, and then my good friend Tiffany brought all of that to the surface, and then life was just over.
Gotta ask though, because we saw you crying a lot in the diary room, and I can't imagine what emotions you go through when you're in the house. You're away from your loved ones, you're totally secluded from the outside world. Davon, what is it that's so emotional about talking to the camera and just spilling your heart out, that you don't let it show necessarily to your other house guests when you're out and mingling with them, but there's something in the diary room just pulls out the emotion in you?
Because when you're in the house, you gotta sort of wear a mask and walk on eggshells. Everybody is sensitive. Everybody is looking for a reason to evict you. Everybody just, you can sneeze wrong in the Big Brother house and you going on the block. Everybody is very sensitive. So when I would go into the diary room and I was to myself, just me and whoever I was talking to, it was brilliant because it was like, yes, I can let y'all know how pissed I really am. Thanks, Paul. I can let y'all know how pissed I really am. It never was because I was, my feelings was hurt or I was sad or anything like that. It was because I was mad. I was genuinely mad. And you know how in the real world, everybody has that person that they can talk to and confide in when they're upset. You don't have that in there. I couldn't pick up my phone and call my person. I couldn't do that. So I was just kind of stuck.
Victor, was the experience what you expected it to be?
If I told you that I would have had the crazy roller coaster of an experience that I was going to have before I started the show, I wouldn't believe myself. I mean, I had the entire Big Brother experience and a million times more. And who gets to play the game 3 times in one season?
True.
No, I got my confidence, I got my battle back belt, America's favorite player. I mean, you couldn't plan it or script it, and I'm just happy that it happened to me.
Paul, of all the previous house guests from different seasons, did you take away any of your game moves from anybody? I guess, did you sort of look up to anybody, or was anybody kind of acting as a mentor to you before you went into the house?
There's definitely a lot of gameplay that I respect, but I went in there with my own strategy, and the strategy to literally just play this game as myself. I'm not a fan when people try to copy other people's games or try to play what another person played, because the reality of it is you're not that person, and you'll never do it as good as they did it. So I went in saying, I'm going to play a ball game, and if that gets me evicted week 1, awesome. If it gets me second place, awesome. So that's really how I went into it.
Now, a question, I guess, for all of you. We can start with Davon, maybe. If you could go back and change any of your game moves, would you, and what would you change?
I definitely, and I said this last year, and maybe if I go in the third time, I'm going to just pack duct tape in my bag, but it would be me keeping my mouth closed. I'm a very vocal person. I'm a very bold, straightforward. If I feel it, I'm going to say it. That's the type of person I am, and that costs you in this game. So I would just keep my mouth closed and kind of just be a vote, but then that kind of sucks because I feel like I'm not playing. That's the hard part. It's like you want to play the game, you want to be involved, you want to strategize, but I guess you got to learn how to pick your battle. Sometimes you just got to shut up, and this week I'm just going to ride it out.
But I mean, I feel you on that, because it's one of those things where you can't really escape, right? If you have a fight with your partner, you can leave home and go for a drive and do something. In that house, you're there. You're with these people.
You suck, and that's my thing. If somebody makes me mad in the real world, I'm going to Walmart. I'll talk to you in a minute. I can't do that in the Big Brother house. I'm stuck.
Yeah. Victor, Paul, what about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I just already forgot the question.
If you could change any of your game moves.
Oh, okay, yeah. If I could change any of my game moves, I mean, obviously, going back and looking at the game from an outside view after everything has happened, you know, putting Nicole and Corey up would have been my better game move, but that would have just changed what I was being true to myself for, which is being loyal, you know? And I don't know if America would have respected that move from me. Maybe they did because they saw that I was, you know, trying to just be myself, but maybe they wouldn't have, and things would have changed for me. So I would just keep it the same way that I did. I mean, I really could not have asked for a better season. Maybe if I would have just got luckier on some comps, it'd be a different ending. But it is what it is, and I'm happy with it. No, I would not change anything about my game. Pretty much playing off what Victor said. I stayed true to myself. I played the game I wanted to play, and if I needed to change something about myself in order to win $500,000, that's just not worth it to me. No amount of money would make me do something that I wouldn't want to do, or do something to change myself. And if being Paul and being crazy is what won me second place, then I'll take that with a smile and walk out being who I am, sticking to my guns.
Oh, I love that answer. And we had this question sent in. And again, any of you can answer it. Whose gameplay do you respect the most, and whose did you despise the most? Oh, I'm sure, Davon, you know what? You've got an answer, I'm sure.
Whose gameplay did I respect the most? I know everybody's probably like, Nicole, because you voted for it. No, it actually wasn't. It was Victor. All my eggs were in Victor's basket. Literally, when he came into the jury house, as you guys saw, I broke down and cried. That's where I was. And the one that I respected the least had to be Paulie. On personal level and strategic, he was, many times you would hear me say, would you say Derek? Paulie, many times.
That was pretty explosive in the jury house when you kind of got up in his face. What led up to that, though? Was it just boiling over for hours before that, or was it something that just started in the moment?
I'm so glad you asked me that. This was a situation with Paulie where he belittled and talked down to women, me and Bridget specifically, all week he would throw little comments, and then Friday when the cameras came, he would turn it up all the way to 600. So this is something I I have been dealing with all the time. Now, we're stuck in this house. I can't just, I can't go home. It's not like I'm at work, like, okay, I got to deal with this employee, collect this check, and then I get to go home. Like, no, I'm living with this person. So it was pure hell. And then that particular Friday, when he turned up, especially since I didn't say anything, the comment came from Michelle. So when he turned to Bridget and myself, it was like, oh, okay, this is a setup. You're plotting. You've been wanting to walk through this door for a long time. And it was that, and it was the I'm missing my baby, I'm missing home, and you have the audacity to fix your mouth to say anything about her. It was all of that. It was a mixture of all of that. Ew, I'm getting mad right now. Ew.
Let's spin it around then. Whose gameplay did you respect the most?
Victor. My money was on Vic.
Okay. Now, there's an interesting follow-up question to this one, though. Whose gameplay surprised you the most? Victor, I'll ask you then. Obviously, everybody goes in there on day one sizing each other up, right? Did you misjudge anyone?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell now, but I guess Natalie, she started turning up at the end later on in the season, before she hadn't won any comps or anything like that, and then as the season got further on, she started getting closer. Now, maybe she's not winning a bunch, but she got closer to winning, getting second place several times or close to. And then she did win a comp, and then she almost won that veto. And she subsequently actually sent me home. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised by her game and how she progressed.
You mentioned Natalie. So, of course, we naturally think of showmances because that's probably what she's known for most this summer. Of the relationships this season, which ones do you think will last, Paul? And has anyone actually broken up since the show ended? I should ask that first.
I have no idea, to be completely honest with you. As soon as we left the house, I've just been pretty much attached to my phone 24/7. But if I had to pick a showmance that was going to last the furthest, would be me and Paul, sitting dog.
100,000%. Now, then, final one for all of you guys. What advice would you give someone who's going to be on the next season of Big Brother? Ladies first. Davon, we'll start with you.
Like I always say, have fun. I feel like people get into the house and we get so consumed in strategy and paranoia that we forget we are in this beautiful house with all of this fun to have throughout the summer, and we just kind of neglect it, and it turns out, being in that house was hell. Well, that's because we didn't have any fun. Make friends, make connections. As Paul says, friendship. It's so important because in that house, the people that you live with are the only people who know the experience that you have been through. People on the outside can't speak for what happened because they didn't live it. Even watching the Vikings, you still didn't live what we lived. So, try to have fun.
Okay. Fellas?
My best piece of advice would be, if you have an ego, drop it. You're probably not going to win this game, so don't come in with the mentality that you are. Stay humble, stay true to yourself, and always remember to have fun. I had fun in that house, and I think that's what kept me alive, because when people were stressed out the most and they can look at me and see that I'm just having a good time, I think that maybe that helped them out as well. But you could clearly see in the game the people who stressed out and freaked out the most were the ones who were evicted sooner than later.
Awesome.
Yeah, my three little tidbits would be, don't be paranoid. You get paranoid 24/7, you'll start losing hair and you won't get sleep. Try to keep paranoia to a minimum. I guess, 2, just stay true to yourself. It's way easier to play this game if you're true to yourself. It helps your paranoia a lot. And last but not least, know that whatever happens inside the Big Brother house, it all goes by the wayside once you walk out those doors. If somebody backstabbed you, somebody might have said something, whatever. A lot of times, and I can't speak to everyone, but I walked out of the house 3 times, and each time I was even better when I came back in because I was so relaxed just from walking out. Everything just went away, So just know that it's not the end of the world. It's Big Brother. It's an amazing game, and you'll love it. So if you leave, or when you do leave, just don't take the stuff that was in the house out with you.
There we go. I hope everybody's jotting down notes frantically about that. Well, Victor, Davon, Paul, from the latest season of Big Brother, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations to all of you anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Take care, you guys.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
It's true, we're on Twitter. We are up with the times here on this podcast at The Scribble Show. I can't really take credit for being up on social media, I'm not, but definitely do follow along on Twitter at The Scribble Show. And yeah, it's just been a great time. Lots of talking. Thanks to our guests for joining us today. And you know what? I always love hearing from you. So if you've got an opinion about the Big Brother vote or just this past season, shoot me an email, live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com. More celebrity guests will be joining us next week, so stick around for that. And I hope you will join us then. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat